Dear learners, I'm Ridwan and welcome to another video in my series about transformation of simple, complex and compound sentence. Today in this lesson, I'm going to show you some transformations based on the previous rules. Based on the previous rules that we discussed here, I've written 7 example sentences. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of sentences, and we are going to change them as per the direction in the brackets. At the end of each sentence, we have direction in the brackets, and we are going to change them into different types of sentences. Before I start the transformation, I have to make sure that you are able to recognize different types of sentences, and let's start with the first one. Let me read out the first one. It gives us pleasure, but we cannot get freedom to use it. Let's say the type of sentence. We have instruction. We are told to make this complex sentence. So the rest of the sentences are simple and compound. Let's say the type of sentence. Let's say the type of this sentence. What type of sentence is it according to structure? As we find coordinating conjunction but in the sentence, the coordinating conjunction but connects two independent clauses, so this is a compound sentence, and we have to make it complex one. The second, let's move on to the second example. The second example is, though there are laws to punish the tourists, they are not properly applied. And what type of sentence is it according to structure? This is we are told to make this compound sentence, so the rest of the two sentences are simple and complex sentence. As you can see, the subordinate clause of this, here's a subordinate clause and we have the main clause. The subordinate clause begins with though, although, even though, so this is a complex sentence. And let's move on to the third example. Because of its usefulness, it has become very popular. Make it compound, and I think you can understand the type of this sentence. This is a simple sentence because it has a subject and a finite verb. A subject and a finite verb combination is a simple sentence. And let's move on to the fourth example sentence. Though he had a vast wealth, he didn't spend for his own. This is also a complex sentence. Though we have strict laws, we are still affected by this evil. This is also a complex sentence, right? Then, though a healthy man is an asset to his family, an unhealthy man is a liability. This is a complex sentence, and we are told to make this compound one. And the last one is, as the demand for flowers is increasing day by day, we should cultivate flowers on commercial basis. This is the complex sentence because it has a subordinate clause and we have the main clause. Okay. Before I start the transformation, let's quickly revise the previous rules we discussed here. As this is a compound sentence, as we have said before, as the coordinating conjunction connects the two independent clauses, we have to make this complex sentence. You have to just remember, as this is This is coordinating conjunction, but there might be yet also. And the complex sentence must include though, although, even though. Though, although, even though. The subordinate clause of the complex sentence should begin with though, although, even though, as you have to focus on the key words. In the complex sentence, there would be though, although, even though. And in the compound sentence, you'll find but, or, yet. And in the simple sentence, you will have a subject and a verb, and the phrase has to start with despite or in spite of, so in the complex sentence, though, although, even though. In the simple sentence, despite or in spite of. And in the compound sentence, but, or, yet. We have to focus on these key words. Okay, now I'm making this complex sentence as per the direction. It gives us pleasure, but we cannot get freedom to use it. It gives us pleasure, but connects the two independent clauses. As we are making this complex sentence, the subordinate clause of the complex sentence has to start with either though, although, or even though. I'm using here though, though, though. Okay, and the coordinate clause remains unchanged, though it gives us pleasure, as the subordinate clause comes first. So we have to separate the subordinate clause from the main clause by a comma. Put a comma in place of but. You have to take out the but, and in place of but we are using comma. We cannot get freedom to use it. Okay, now let's move on to the second sentence. Though there are laws to punish the tourists, they are not properly applied. It make it compound sentence. So focus on the subordinate clause. And focus on the subordinating conjunction. As we are making this compound sentence, we don't need the subordinating conjunctions. So the subordinating conjunction should be left out. Although I'm taking out though. There are laws to punish the tourists. In place of comma we are using but, and write the rest part of the sentence. But they are not properly applied. Okay, and let's move on to the third example sentence. Because of its usefulness, it has become very popular. First of all, let's say the type of the sentence. What type of sentence is it according to structure? This is a simple sentence because it has a subject and a finite verb. Subject and a finite verb combination is a simple sentence, and this is a phrase. Based on the previous rule, it would be because of its usefulness. This is a phrase of reason. So the so the clause of reason has to start with because, were, as, were, since. I'm using here as, were, because. You can write because also. Because, were, since. As, because, becausc. Okay. Becausc. As, because, were, since. It make it compound. It is useful. It is useful. As, because, since it is useful, comma, it has become very, very popular. Okay, then let's move on to the fourth example sentence. Though he had a vast wealth, he didn't spend for his own. We have to make it compound sentence. Okay, I'm not going to write it. I'm just saying he had a vast wealth. We are leaving this out. Though he had a vast wealth, but were yet he didn't spend for his own. Okay, then we are changing this compound sentence. Though we have strict law, we are still affected by this evil. We are leaving this out. We have strict law. In place of comma, we are using but we are still affected by this evil. Okay, it's now done. Then, though a healthy man is an asset to his family, an unhealthy man is a liability. This is a very common example. We are leaving out this subordinate conjunction. A healthy man is an asset to his family. In place of comma, use but, were, yet. An unhealthy man is a liability. Then, as the demand for flowers is increasing day by day, we should cultivate flowers on commercial basis. We have to make this simple sentence. So, dear learners, what type of sentence is it according to structure? This is complex sentence because it has a subordinate clause and we have the main clause, and we have to make the subordinate clause a phrase. As the subordinate clause begins with as, the phrase of the simple sentence has to start with because of, on account of, owing to, or due to. But you have to remember due to does not modify a verb. Okay, because of, okay, I'm using because of here, because of the increasing demand for flowers, comma, we should cultivate flowers on commercial basis. Okay, I'm saying this one more time. Because of the increasing demand for flowers, comma, we should cultivate flowers on commercial basis. Okay, then we have to remember that we are discussing the most difficult topic. Most of the students have difficulty with that topic, and this is another part or video in my series about transformation, and I've just written these 7 example sentences based on the previous rules, and we have to practice them every day. Every day we have to practice them, and I think only then the rules would be much easier for you. That's all for now. Thank you all. Thank you.